All right, I'm with Grandmother Spider. Instead of me giving the introduction, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself before we launch into the everything that you have to talk about?
Thank you, Damien, and thank you for inviting me to speak. I'm a spiritual leader in the Taino tradition. I am a teacher with the Wolf Clan Teaching Lodge. I work with vortex energy, which there's a whole big story behind that. It's multidimensional healing energy. I work with herbs. I have a business called Spider Herbs, and I do medicine and local session counseling and for vortex energy work. My purpose in life is to help the two-leggeds to remember our job. Our job here is to be caretakers of the earth. And what I'm doing right now is helping the earth and the people to transform through this time, because we're in the middle of earth changes. More about me can be found on my website. It's www.spiders, SPIDERSMEDICINE, spidersmedicine.com, no apostrophe. And a lot more information about me is on there. I also teach workshops in Lilydale and the local New York area here. And I do other in-person and online teaching sessions. So today we're going to talk about the creation story and where it all began. Your state of being. Grandmother's power. I'm like,
Can you hear me?
Difficulty, and I thought, wait a minute, I'm not in sync at all.
Yeah, can you? I lost that whole thing. Are you there?
I am.
Yeah. Okay, so let's try again. I lost you. You were about to launch into Grandmother Spider, the story, I think.
Do you want me to start there?
Or yeah, I mean, I heard everything about you, and then as soon as you're about to launch into the topic,
well, even that part wasn't good.
Okay.
So if you want to start over, we'll start over. If you want me to start with the story, we'll start the story. If we have
just start with the story.
All right. So we're going to start with the creation story. The thing that we want to do when we come back to our sense of being is to take 5 deep breaths. So now we're going to separate from the world and just take 5 slow, deep breaths and bring your attention back to your point of being. Way back forever, before all things began, the great mystery existed in the universe. The great mystery is the beginning point of creation. The great mystery is the spark that gave rise to all life. The great mystery is the consciousness, the universal consciousness that we all share. Great mystery is also a name that can be synonymous with God, creator, or whatever you in your heart fills that role. So in the beginning, forever before life began, the great mystery existed in space. But the great mystery couldn't experience anything sensory. The great mystery couldn't see or feel or touch. So the great mystery had a dream where great mystery envisioned all possible life on all possible locations, all possible dimensions, and all possible time frames. Each life could experience one piece, one sacred point of view for the great mystery of what existing and living is like, so that the great mystery could know every possible way of living. Well, while the great mystery, or the universal mind, was having this dream, Grandmother Spider sat on her web in the sky world. Grandmother Spider sitting in the void. Because in life we have the void, which is the potential for all that is. And then we have the form, the life that lives that potential. So Grandmother Spider sat on her web in the sky world, waiting and watching. And after a long, 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 long time, when the great mystery had finished envisioning all forms of life in the dream, 7 shining energy beings came from the great mystery out into the universe. And these 7 beings, remember, everything begins as a thought, everything begins as energy, everything begins as shining light beings, which is what energy is, shining light. So Grandmother Spider reached out and she started to weave her web, and she connected the energy around the physical form of the energy beings. And these 7 beings became the Pleiades, the 7 sisters, and the doorway through which all other life would come into the universe, into existence. So after she connected, and she never cut her thread, Grandmother Spider has a little weaving song she sings. So she's singing her weaving song, and she's moving from one star, from one sun, from one planet to the next, never cutting her thread. And that thread is the web of life that we all share, that we're all a part of. So Grandmother Spider, she's singing, she's weaving. Her song is wee wee oh, wee wee oh, wee wee oh, wee wee ah, wee wee oh, hey yo, hey yo, hey ha, hey ha. And Grandmother Spider weaves all the planets, suns, and stars. They come through the doorway of the 7 stars, and they go out in their circular rotations. They already know this because it's in the dream of the great mystery. So when Mother Earth came through that doorway, Mother Earth came out and assumed her rotation, her circular rotation. And within Mother Earth's sacred cave, deep within her body, were the seeds for all life that would come to live on this planet in all time frames. So here we are. We had to wait inside of the sacred cave. We had to wait inside of Mother Earth until our time was right, because of course that's what seeds do. They wait underground, they wait for the sun to send them the proper timing, and then they sprout. So when it's our time to live, we choose our parents, our gender, our nationality, we choose where we're going to live. We have a purpose and a commitment, and we have gifts that we bring, like the flowers, to make our earth walk beneficial for all of the rest of life that's here. The earth, so the earth, the planets, the suns, the stars, and all of us, we each have a sacred point of view. We each are manifesting a little piece of that sacred point of view for the great mystery, so that the great mystery can experience all life in all places. That was the purpose of Earth and Earth evolution. So in the evolutionary time of the Earth, there were 7 worlds. The first world was the worlds of thought manifesting, because all things begin with thoughts. So this was a dreamy world where the great mystery's dream was being manifested. It was very warm. The sun came to light the evolution here, and the creatures that came were beginning to establish their rotations, their times, their cycles, and their seasons. The earth changed, and then the second world came. The second world, the moon was here. It was cold. And it was during the second world that the creatures came together in families and clans. And this is where we learned to communicate, and where we were able to establish our ways of taking care of each other. The world changed again. And then we moved into the third world. The third world was a place where there were technology that was even more advanced than what we have now. We were able to do many things with the earth, many things with the crystals. There were healing temples here. We worked with sound. We worked with vibration. We recognized and understood our part of the great mystery stream. But what happened during that evolution is that there was a certain place somewhere between the second and third worlds where instead of appreciating each of us, all life around us, for the diversity that we are and the special gift that each has to offer, there became an element of greed and an element of being better than. So when the third world ended in a cataclysmic flood and became the fourth world was, I believe it was the world to celebrate living together and all the different gifts that we bring in the circle. However, the fourth world became the world of separation and control. And this is where we humans developed institutions that would separate us from each other, which would give us control over the rest of life. And during the fourth world, a lot of things happened that allowed this to get out of hand, in my opinion. So we developed economic institutions and countries and educational institutions and medical institutions, and all the things that we've created here have certain sets of rules and regulations that don't necessarily follow the universal laws and the law of one that connects us all as the same being. And so at the end of the fourth world, which is where we've been living since the 1970s, we see that the institutions of separation and control can't function anymore. They're not moving forward into the fifth world. We had the Harmonic Convergence in August of 1987. And during that time, the planets were in such a position as to trigger our energy and the energy of the planet to move forward into the fifth world. And I want to say here that when I'm talking about the worlds, I'm talking about periods of evolution in the story of the earth, not necessarily dimensions, because although we are in the fifth dimension right now, we're living in the fifth dimension right now, but the dimensions all overlap. And your awareness is what enables you to experience each dimension and bring it into your physical body and bring it into your awareness in your life. So the fourth world, if we have 7 worlds in the cycle of the earth, 4 is the world in the middle. So from world 1 to the fourth world, we became as separate as we could because we needed to develop our individual identities. And now that we're moving into the fifth world, we're coming back. That pendulum is swinging back the other way. So we are honoring our energy body now because we're recognizing that we're not just physical beings. When we look at what's going on in the world, how we treat each other, how we treat the planets or the plants and the trees and the creature beings, how we treat ourselves and the institutions that we brought up, and what we're taught in school and what our medicine is, we recognize that we come here, Grandmother Spider connects us in her web of life. Soon as we're born, she weaves that web around our feet and all the way up past our head. And she carries the cord from our vibrational light center that we carry right above our navel to the next creature being, to the next plant person, to the next stone person. So that's an energy cord, that's an energy web, and we are energy beings. So we can't just treat ourselves as physical beings and expect to thrive and to survive and to evolve into our fullest potential until we recognize the energy part of our being. And we see this around us now. People are starting to recognize this. In the fifth world, we become more vibrationally attuned. And so we honor and recognize the vibrations of nature the truth of the matter is that we only have our specific vibration. When we come here, we bring gifts and their colors. It's light and sound and geometric shapes that are unique to you. The configuration of the geometric shapes make your body and your mind, your mental capacities, and your energy what it is that makes you original and unique. So if we take this vibration and we take this geometric configuration and we sit under a tree and we touch our vibration, our geometrics with that tree, and we touch it with the sunlight, it does something amazing. It triggers our energy, it feeds our energy, and it makes us into our fullest potential as people. So that's part of where we're going in the fifth world. First, we have to understand and recognize and embrace our energy body. And then as we do that, we embrace our connections with people in a whole new level. So we can actually overlap energy with people. And we begin to experiment with that, especially since healing in the fifth world is vibrational. Healing is vibrational. Everything that we come into contact has an effect on our energy vibrations. And there certainly is a lot of toxicity, whether it's a physical toxicity like a heavy metal or an energetic toxicity like 5G. It all has an effect on our bodies. And so if we can use sound to counteract and to rebalance, that works on many way deeper levels than any physical intervention can work. So that's what the fifth world is about, coming back to our energy body. So in this process of evolution, by the time we reach the sixth world, we will have healed ourselves of all the baggage that we carry physically, emotionally, stuff we're carrying from our ancestors. It's all starting to come out right now because we can't carry it with us into the fifth dimension. And so it's here for us to be releasing and restructuring. So by the time we get to the sixth world, we're going to create little pods of people that share one energy. And we're already being attracted to these people who share our point of view. And I see a lot of exciting groups happening, the grassroots groups springing up where people are getting together over collective farming and whatever else it is, taking care of people. And it's really wonderful to see this. This is the beginning of coming together as small group entities that share the same energy, the same thoughts. By the seventh world, the planet is going to become one being. And in that process of moving from the physicality of the fourth world to the light being of the seventh world, we begin to lose our density and we begin to change and carry light codes that enable us to develop as more energetic and light beings rather than the physical being as part of our innate presence of who we are. So this is an exciting time in this transformation. As chaotic as it may seem in the outside world, it is an exciting time because it gives us the ability to go back and understand and appreciate everybody's sacred point of view. It's important that we do this right now because each one of us came with a purpose. And the purpose, aside from being a caretaker of the earth, is how are you going to express that in your life? That's why we go on a vision quest to find that out. We go to nature and let nature speak to us about where our path is and what we need to do in life. But even if you can't go on a vision quest, if you go out and sit and ask, you become aware. And it's in your heart. The awareness is in your heart now. In the fifth world, we're speaking the language of the heart. We're speaking that language of feelings. We're dropping down out of our head, out of that duality of this and that, black and white, us and them, and we're dropping into the heart, the feeling place we can all experience of being as part of the same great mystery, part of the same universal wisdom, part of the same family. And this is where we can reach out and work together, despite the fact that each one of us expresses this in a different way. So it's important to remember your purpose. And it's important to make a commitment to that purpose because, as I was told, we're each here for a reason. We selected our time for coming in, and those of us that are here now are here to create the fifth world. And the fifth world is the world of unity. It's the world where the people come back together and hold hands, all people of all nations. And in that circle also includes the creature beings, the water creatures, the plants, the trees, the birds, the insects, to come together in unity to create a more harmonious way of living on this planet. So it's exciting because all the doors are open for us right now and our energy is shifting so that we can indeed have the opportunity to create this. So we have, like I said, we have special gifts that we bring. We have light and sounds and color. And right now, I want you to just focus within. I want you to put your left hand where it folds on your vibrational light center. We call this the vibrational light center because this is where your light comes into your body, the light from the great mystery that is you. And then put your right hand on top of the left hand. And just bring your attention there for a few minutes. This is your power place. This is where you connect to the earth. When we stand on the earth and we feel the heartbeat of the earth under our feet. And we can, even if you're in a building, you can feel the heartbeat of the earth under your feet. And we can bring that up, right up into your vibrational light center. And we can feel our connection to the web of life. That comes through the vibrational light center. And our connection to all of our friends and family, as well as our connection to those things we want to manifest, our dreams, our visions. Now, we each carry colors within, which make this unique rainbow to us. So we're going to take a couple of breaths now, and we're going to take 4 colors out of your vibrational light center. Just fold your hands out and make them into a ball. And we're going to take this, and if you're sitting next to a window, there might be a tree outside, or maybe you have a plant in your house or a pet, and you're going to just connect this rainbow with that creature, and feel the energy of the creature or the plant. And their rainbow merges with yours. And then find another plant or maybe a cloud and connect your rainbow. That now is the combination of your rainbow, the first connection's rainbow, and this connection. And now take that rainbow and let it go. Let it connect with maybe a bird flying across the sky. And then connect it with your neighbor next door. As this rainbow goes, it gathers more colors, it gathers more energy, and it strengthens our connection to the web of life. From here, we can connect to the water. What body of water is closest to you? Do you have a stream by your house, or a lake nearby, or a river? Or maybe you're close to the ocean. Connect there. There's lots of creatures there in the water. And if you live close to the woods like I do, you can reach out to connect to the deer or the fox or the other creatures that live in the woods. Now connect to somebody you really love. Connect that rainbow to them wherever they are at this moment and allow them to feel that wonderful connection. And then take that rainbow and connect it with somebody that you would like to send a rainbow to because they're hurting in some way. We're going to take this rainbow and connect it to the heart of Mother Earth, way down in the sacred cave. It's here where we come from. This is where our spirit is until we come into this earth walk. And this is where we return. Let's feel the heartbeat energy of Mother Earth. We started off with this heartbeat, and now the heartbeat is way strong. And we connected back because all the rainbows we do, we want to connect back and give good energy to Mother Earth to thank her for all the gifts that she gives to us and all of our relations. And then lastly, we're going to take that rainbow back between our hands gently and put it back within your vibral core. Now we're holding our rainbow and also the energy connection, the rainbow energy we have with all the creature beings. You can do this all day. It's a wonderful meditation. And it energizes us. It energizes the earth, and it energizes that connection that we have. It's important for us to take the time to make that connection when we see a beautiful flower, when we're walking in the woods. The sunlight coming through the trees touches our energy and strengthens us in a certain way. The moonlight, the sound of the water, waves rushing or water going over the rocks, or even rain falling. These things are important for us. It's like we carry a little bit of the bird's song, the trees. We carry a little bit of every creature inside of us. When I had my daughter in the time of birth, I had this vision, and I saw a place in the ocean. I saw dolphins, I saw a tree, and I taught her about this later. And she also knew that we're connected to everything that is. And I said, now, if you find this tree, it will be important to you and you'll know it, you'll feel it in your heart. And she said, but Mom, what happens if that tree gets cut down? And that's the thing. A little piece of us is dead. It's gone if that tree gets cut down. That's how intimately connected we are with the planet and all of life. We hold this all in our heart. So, as Grandmother Spider being my spirit guardian, through my stories and teachings, I weave the remembering to get people triggered to remember that connection of who we are and why we're here, because this is an incredibly powerful time. And when we know who we are and why we're here, we know that we have tremendous potential. In the fifth world, healing is vibrational and our thoughts are vibrational. Never underestimate the power of collective positive thinking. We're doing it right now. So when we send a rainbow to the earth, we send our vision for a healthy, thriving planet. When we send our rainbow to the sky, we send our vision for clean air. We send our rainbows to the water. We send our thoughts for clean, healthy water and thriving underwater communities. And then we take the action to go and make that so. So if you don't do anything else today, go outside for a minute wherever you are. Put your feet on the earth. Hold your hands up to the sun, the rain, the clouds, whatever's out there. And take this energy into your vibrational light center and hold it there. And if you do that every day, you will know your connection to the web of life.
All right, amen. That was beautiful. Thank you. I'm chiming in here because I see we have just over we have about 6 minutes, a little over 6 minutes. So I wanted to make sure that let everyone know that this is just part one of our talk. The name of this podcast is Builders of the Light Web, and Spider is very knowledgeable on all things about the web of life, and Grandmother Spider and vortexes, which we'll get to next talk. This is an important introductory discussion and teaching, because it shows how we're all connected, and how we can all as individuals and collectively unify our consciousness towards a positive vibrational space to help usher in the fifth world, and it looks like even towards the sixth world, which I'd like to get into more next time. What does the sixth world look like, and when is that going to happen, and all of that. So, but before we end, I'd like Spider, how can people get a hold of you? Name some of your books and how people can get them, and anything else you'd like to say about what you have to offer.
Well, my website is www.spidersmedicine.com, no apostrophe. And there's excerpts from my books on there that you can read. I have The Grandmother Spider in the Web of Life, which is a big, long story about the medicine wheel. It has a lot of medicine wheels in it. I painted a shield, the 7 layers of earth, 7 layers of sky. So it's a very intricate teaching book. I have All Our Relations for Children, Medicine Wheel Stories and Teachings for Children, that is much more simplified. I have a short story, Grandmothers of the Four Winds. That's also about the medicine wheel, but it's only a few pages long. And I have the Vortex book, of course, which is the energy multidimensional healing work that the star people gave to me, and where we talk about the earth changes and how energy is evolving in that book. And that's a workbook, so there's a lot of exercises if you want to learn to do vortex. And I have the Taino women's ceremony book called Songs of Bleeding. That's also about the Taino medicine wheel, women's ceremonies, and passage rite. And right now on the website, I just put this up. I wrote a survival manual years ago, and it's been edited and updated, and it's up there for full download on the page of the survival manual, I believe it is.
All right.
So
What about, don't you also, oh, I know you do, those phone conferences, is that free to anybody
I
to
do,
join?
there's information on the readings and the healing work. The healing work is on the Vortex page and the readings are on the reading page, and it tells you how to reach me and a little bit about it.
All right. Any last thoughts before we have 3 minutes left? What would you say the most important thing that people can do this week in terms of expanding their consciousness?
Going out and standing on the earth and reaching your hands up to whatever's going on in the sky and bringing that all inside. And really, really focusing on this and really feeling the energy and bringing it into your body, because this is what increases our energy. We need that connection to the earth. We need the connection to the trees. We need the connection to the sun. The sun and the oxygen are the two things that are triggering us into our multidimensional selves, because our bodies are transforming right now, not just the planet and our way of living. Physically, we're losing our density and becoming more energetic beings. And that's a topic for another time, but you can start by connecting to the earth, connecting to the sky. And the other thing that I can say that is really important is at least once a week, reach out your good hands, your good words, your good actions, and your good thoughts towards helping somebody. We need to reweave our communities back together. We've had such a separation here, and underneath, we're all part of the great mystery. So let's recognize that and work with each other despite their differences.
Aho. I definitely will be doing those things this week for sure. And we will get together. We'll organize another episode together. And that was wonderful. It was really well focused. Thank you so much. And have a glorious day, Spider. And we'll talk. I'm gonna stop the